What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first Dense Pixels podcast episode of 2019. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host this week, Carrie.
What's up?
So, as most of you know, if you are in the fan group on the TNP Studios network, Micah is going to be gone for a couple of weeks because Micah is a brand new dad. So,
Yay!
Mom and son are doing great. Little MVP is doing quite well.
He got away with quite a bit with his son's name, like to the point where I'm beyond impressed with him.
It's a triple reference, like the Doctor Doom thing. I don't think that he could hide. Well, but the other two are a little bit more under the radar.
Yeah.
So best wishes to Micah, who, like I said, he'll be missing a couple weeks. We'll have him back soon enough, I'm sure. But he'll be gone for a little bit, and then Terrence just couldn't make it this week.
Terrence didn't have a kid.
No,
he's just
that we know of, at least. But yeah, no Terrence this week. Just me and Carrie. We're talking 2018 games of the year. Being as Micah and Terrence are not here, we can also speak for them in this regard as well, which should be really fun. And there's though we've missed 2 weeks because of the holidays. Not as much news as you think, but there's some stories that have happened over the past couple weeks that we can cover.
Yeah, I mean, typically speaking, there's not a ton of news on holiday weeks. So.
Not in this industry, certainly not. So let's get started. Carrie, you can help me out a lot because I have seen the Persona dancing games. Didn't they have one for Persona 4?
They did. The one for Persona 4 was originally released on the Vita back in 2015, I want to say. And that game had this robust story mode that had like a visual novel aspect to it, and it continued the storyline of the original game. This is not that.
Yeah, what I need, I need 101 level help on this because I know what Persona is. I'm aware of the style of game of Persona. I'm aware of its nature. But what do you do in a Persona dancing game? Because you've been playing Persona 3 and Persona 5.
Yeah, I picked
dancing and whatever.
I picked up what's called it's the bundle of both games, and it also came with the PS4 port of the Persona 4 dancing game. It's called the Endless Night Collection. If you're going to pick up these games, go ahead and just get the Endless Night Collection because you get all 3 Persona dancing games, and it's like $80 or something like that. But basically they're rhythm games. Like, they've got the title that includes the word dancing, but it's not like a DDR game. You have a 6-button format. You've got the up, the left, and the down on the one side of the controller, and then the triangle, circle, and X on the other side. And it's basically just the prompts come in time with the music, and you're just hitting stuff in time with the music. As far as rhythm game mechanics go, it is very run-of-the-mill.
So why are they so popular?
Because the music in these games are fucking bops. Like across the Persona series, all of the music has been good, and they get real good artists to come in and do remixes of them. They get other video game composers. Sorry, my cat is here now. Hello. Goodbye. They get the guy who did all of the music for all of the Katamari games to come in and do a remix, and just they get a lot of popular EDM artists from Japan to do remixes. They get other game composers to do remixes. So the soundtracks is really what's sort of appealing to, I would assume, most Persona fans, because the gameplay isn't all that compelling.
So my question is this: do they release these remix soundtracks separately, or is the only way to experience them by buying one of these dancing games?
Oh, I believe they release the soundtrack separately.
So why wouldn't you just buy that?
Look, it's fun. So as I mentioned, the Persona 4 Dancing All Night had a story mode, which literally canonically continued the story of Persona 4's investigation team. And the Persona 3 and Persona 5, they got rid of the story mode, and they were we're just having a dance off between these two groups of teenagers because the people in the Velvet Room are fighting with each other. So instead, they replaced that with what they call just a social mode, which still expands on a lot of the backstories of the characters from the games and whatnot. And the outfits that you can put them in are all really cute. And it's a colorful, fun, lighthearted time with really good music. So
it doesn't seem to be worth $80 to me.
I mean,
Especially if all you want is the music part.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely just hop on YouTube and listen to the complete soundtrack, and I would recommend you do that with any Persona title anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I finally got around to playing it because like I bought it when it came out, and then I didn't have access to my PlayStation 4 for a month. So
speaking of which, Nintendo needs to just release like a soundtrack with all the Smash Brothers remixes on it as well.
I would agree with that,
because carrying my Switch around and using it as an MP3 player is not conducive to something that I want to be doing ever.
No,
which you can with this new one, but
right,
just give them to me. I'll give you $30. It's not a big deal.
Right.
So that's it. Nothing new for me. And we'll talk about that when we get to Game of the Year, because it's the same shit that I've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of housekeeping. Again, youtube.com/densepixels to check out this podcast, plus some Let's Play videos, plus some old reviews that we've done. Click the subscribe button while you're there. It's that big red button, so that you never miss when we post a new episode. Also, you got to ring that bell icon because YouTube's weird, and that's the only way that you can make sure that you get notified whenever we post something new. TNP Studios, don't forget to sign up for premium if you're not a premium member yet. It is at densepixels.com/premium. Premium membership only costs $5 a month and $50 for the entire year, where apparently this week you can get a 3-week backlog, 4.5-hour episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Fun fact, I was off yesterday and considering asking Jay if he wanted a third chair for that podcast. And boy, am I glad I didn't. Because that would have been a lot. It would have been 6 hours if I was there. But again, you get weekly episodes to look forward. You get a monthly episode of the Men with the Golden Tongues. Mike and I just released the Mission Impossible episode of the Men with the Golden Tongues. We're starting our venture into the Mission Impossible series. And next month, we are ranking Bond villains. So we need your help there. Make sure you go to thenerapocalypse.com/fans to learn more about that once we post that information. You also get No Time to Bleed, our action movie podcast, and the Airing of Grievances, which may be on hiatus for a little bit because of Micah being out, but look forward to those coming back as well. So again, densepixels.com/premium, $5 a month, $50 for a year. I promise you will not regret it. Some of our best content happens on the premium side of the network. And of course, no matter what podcatching app you use, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, whatever, make sure you subscribe to this podcast as well as the other TNP Studio shows, which includes the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, and Coming Distractions. So not a lot of new games to talk about because PlayStation, Xbox took the holidays off as well when it came to listing new content for their stores. It is a new month, however, so we have new games with gold and PlayStation Plus games to talk about. On Xbox, pretty good month, actually, this month. So the entire month of January for Xbox One, you get Celeste, one of the best games allegedly to come out last year. It's one that I would really like to play.
I mean, it was nominated for all and won a number of awards at the Game Awards. So
it did.
I haven't had a chance to play it myself, but I have a lot of friends who have played it, and they all say it's just a fabulous experience. So
yeah, well, if you have an Xbox One and you're a gold member, that's free, so you can check that out. The back half of the month, WRC 6, a rally racing game is
that's not
free.
Just the back half of the month. That's January 16th through the middle of February.
Yes, into February, because they always do. They always stagger them. On Xbox 360, two other good choices: Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. This is one of the Tomb Raider games where they did two of them, but it's the top-down isometric, like Diablo-style view. But I really like those games. They can be played cooperatively as well. Really fun games. I thought that they were kind of flew under the radar when they first came out. I really like them. They're definitely worth checking out. Definitely a different vibe on the Tomb Raider experience. You can get that for free from January 1st through the 15th. Of course, also on Xbox One as well. And then from the 16th through the 31st, rather, you can get Far Cry 2, another game that was kind of eclipsed by Far Cry 3, but still a very good game and certainly worth playing for free. So a pretty good month for Xbox this month. For PlayStation, if we move over to that side of things. For the entire PlayStation's runs through from January 1st to February 5th, so you can download these now. Steep is available for free on PS4. Steep is the winter sports game from Ubisoft that came out not last year, but the year before. And then Portal Knights, which is a action RPG that you can play cooperatively with friends, is also available for free as well. The big thing for PlayStation, the PS3 games are fairly solid. You have the Zone of the Enders HD collection and Amplitude, which is a fucking great rhythm game. We're just talking about rhythm games, and Amplitude was pretty fucking great. If you have Warframe, you can still get the PlayStation Plus booster pack as well through January 15th. So don't miss out on that. And there's a Vita game called Fallen Legion Flames of Rebellion that you can also play on PS4 because it has cross-buy capabilities. So that is your free PlayStation games for the month. As far as new releases goes, new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is coming out to the Nintendo Switch. This is a port of new Super Mario Bros. U, which originally came out on the Wii U.
And by all accounts, is one of the top 2D Mario games ever made. It was just made for the Wii U, so 6.5 people played it.
I'm a little salty they're charging $60 for this. I think 40 would have been more appropriate. Honestly.
I don't entirely disagree with you, but I'm also like, it's a hefty 2D Mario game. They include the Super Luigi stuff.
I was going to ask you about that too. Okay,
which was I think $20 separately on its own.
30 actually.
Oh, okay. And then you've got all the extra characters and whatnot that they added to it as well. So
that makes it a little bit more palatable.
It's almost like a Game of the Year edition and then some. So I'm not too mad about a $60 price tag.
It's funny because this is a game that I would, if it wasn't Nintendo, I'd be totally like, wait till it goes on sale, but it's fucking Nintendo, so it never goes on sale.
Nope. And unless, 3 or 4 years from now, they will start having their Nintendo Selects lineup of games for the Switch, which will all be $25 or $30 or whatever, if you want to wait that long.
Speaking of, I guess, ports or Game of the Year ports, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey comes out to the 3DS. This was a original DS game, if I'm not mistaken. Originally.
That's correct.
Yeah. That they are bringing to the 3DS and adding, obviously, new content with the Bowser Jr. Part of it as well. Absolver comes to Xbox One this week. I think this was in early access. I think it's coming to full release now, and I think it's also free if you have the Xbox Games Pass. And then Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition comes to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. This game was an Xbox 360 exclusive.
I want to say that's correct.
In the Tales series, but it's now coming to all platforms. So if you missed that, if you like the Tales games, this is certainly worth checking out.
Yeah, the Tales games are all really good. Vesperia was not one that I've played before. I do have some friends who are like hardcore Tales friends who basically swear by this as one of the top ones in the series. So, I mean, if you've got a contemporary console and you like JRPGs, we haven't really had a standout JRPG since Persona 5. So maybe this will be up your alley.
Man, burying Dragon Quest 11.
I didn't play it. I'm waiting for the Switch for it.
I can't. Wait a second. Hang on a second. There's another game that's in both of our top fives when we get to the game that you're also bearing. So we will redress that when we get to that part of the show. That's it for new game announcements. Are you familiar enough with the stories that you can do headlines, or
I can do headlines.
Okay, go. Cool. We'll go for it.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I think the last time that I was on the show, Capcom was like, what if we put ads just all over the characters? And everyone was like, that's fucking stupid. Please don't do that. And then they were like, yes, but what if we did it anyway? And it was terrible. But fortunately,
we ripped them apart on this show, by the way.
Yeah. Fortunately, the in-game ads in Street Fighter V are gone for now. Sponsored content is no longer appearing, which is, for Street Fighter V fans, probably a welcome change of pace from what things were a few weeks ago.
So here's why I'm concerned, though.
Yeah.
So the AdSense costumes are still in the game. They just don't have the ads on them. So like before, whereas Guile, instead of having a American flag tattoo, had a Capcom Pro Tour ad on his bicep.
Yep.
Now just has nothing.
Nothing.
And Akuma, instead of having a kanji symbol on his back when he did the Raging Demon, had a Capcom Pro Tour logo.
Yep.
Now there's just nothing.
Yep.
So that makes me think that once Capcom has something stupid that they want to fucking advertise,
I mean,
next time.
I'm sure once Capcom finds a sponsor, once someone gives whatever fucking changes in their pocket to Capcom and be like, you'll put this logo on Cammy's thigh, they'll be like, I got you. Sure thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What a dumb idea this was. I'm sorry.
I mean, like, particularly the implementation of it was stupid. Like, there are ways to do, as we talked about the first time this story came around, there are ways to do in-game ads in Street Fighter in a way that's not, like, offensive to look at, you know? So, hopefully they're gone forever, and we never hear any more about that bullshit ever again. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, which was a Kickstarter game that I believe made just an aggressive amount of money and has had
$5.5 million to be precise.
Has had what I would call a troubled development,
or what I would call a normal Kickstarter development cycle.
You got me there. It's a side-scrolling action game from former Castlevania producer Koji Igarashi, and they have decided to drop support from both Mac and Linux. So this also comes shortly after the cancellation of the Vita version, which, honestly, is anyone mad about not getting PS Vita games anymore? I can't even be mad about that.
So, and I thought about this too, and the cancellation of the Mac and Linux version probably affects a minute percentage of Kickstarter backers for this game.
Sure.
But it's the whole issue. And again, we beat this drum on this show until we're hoarse.
Mm-hmm.
There are people, and it probably not this game had 65,000 backers.
Right.
So while it's a small percentage of their total backers, it's probably not an insignificant number.
No, it's probably still more than 1,000 people are being
right. And those
affected.
Are people that gave money to this project that are not going to get the product that they thought that they were going to get. Now, can they still get a version of it? Yes.
Yeah,
they'll still be able to switch it. And
chances are someone who is gaming on a Mac or on a Vita probably also has a PS4 or an Xbox One or a Windows PC.
Yes, those chances are high.
But it still sucks. It still sucks when this happens. The game has also been delayed into this year. It was supposed to come out sometime last year. WayForward, the dev team behind the Shantae series, has also funneled money into this project. So it's
and the problem
is frustrating. I didn't invest any money in this because I'm bad at Castlevania style games. So
the issue is that arguably the biggest problem with Kickstarter is that you have these self-imposed deadlines that you set for yourself that nobody ever makes.
No.
Nobody ever makes them, but you have to put them on there. Kickstarter requires it. You have to provide a reasonable timetable that your backers can expect to see the fruits of their backing. Right. And that's the biggest problem that video games run into, is because development is fluid, and you never know. You don't know what you're going to run into that's going to delay the project. The problem is that you can, as video games, say, "Hey, we're aiming to get this out to you in 2018." But you got to give us to at least 2021 maybe before, then no one's going to back your project.
Right.
It's a fine line you have to walk. And I guess better to get the money up front and then just piss people off later than to scare people away from your project in the first place. And look, Kickstarter is floundering. I don't know if we talked about this at any point on the show, but apparently it was that the total amount of video game projects funded on Kickstarter is down 2 years ago, and 3 years ago, because 2015, $42.5 million were pledged to video game projects on Kickstarter. Each of the following 2 years, $17 million. So pretty big decline in funding.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, tabletop gaming continues to just grow.
Right. And I've had a number of conversations with people about this as someone who has backed both video game and tabletop game Kickstarters. I feel like it comes down to the fact, like, tabletop game Kickstarters, people bring something tangible to you at that point. They're like, hey, we have this game, we have this idea, here's how the game works, here's how the game plays, here's a functioning prototype. We've play tested it. We literally just need money to put it into production, and it'll get to you in 6 months. And then, you have the stretch goals with fancier game pieces and whatnot. Whereas video game stuff, it's not like they have a finished game already. They might have a concept. They might have a demo level to show you, but it's not anywhere close to a finished product. And so I feel like, particularly with the likes of Bloodstained and Mighty Number 9 is the example that really comes to mind, and all of these other big time Kickstarter video game projects that raised all this money and then didn't necessarily deliver the product that people paid for. Ukulele also comes to mind.
How's that Toe Jam and Earl working out for you right now?
It hasn't come out yet, but I gave them. Here's the thing, you know what? I got a funky soundtrack and a cool mug and a couple of dope posters. And if the game comes out and it sucks, at least the soundtrack is funky. But no, I mean, like, I feel like you haven't had the same track record of success of video games that have been funded on Kickstarter. Whereas tabletop games, it's very easy to create a track record for success. So I don't know what else to say about it.
Stop bagging Kickstarters for video games.
Oh yeah, I've stopped.
I don't think I ever started. I can't. Did I back any video games on Kickstarter? I don't think I did.
You didn't back Ukulele?
No, I'm sorry to say that I did not. I was not a Banjo-Kazooie fan.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, so.
In any case, in other fun, don't do that news, one way or the other, Fallout 76 players who have been banned are saying that Bethesda wants to have them write an essay in order to get their accounts back. As in any online game of any type, there have been people who have been playing Fallout 76 with the use of third-party software such as mods and cheating programs, aimbots and whatnot. And, Bethesda, I would say, is completely reasonable to ban these players for not playing the game within the rules. However, if players want to get those accounts back, according to the YouTuber known as Juicehead, it's being reported that various players have received emails from Bethesda's customer support explaining that they were banned. However, in the email from Bethesda, it says, if you would like to appeal this account closure, we would be willing to accept an essay on, quote, why the use of third-party cheat software is detrimental to an online game community for our management team to review.
How many words does this essay have to be? That's one thing I have to know.
I don't think it actually says anywhere.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
it should. It should be a 5,000 word essay.
Oh,
look,
that's a term paper, buddy.
Well, guess what? Don't cheat. I've thrown a lot of shit at Bethesda on this podcast for the past couple months. They deserved every bit of shit that I flung at them. I'm all for this. I'm petty as shit, and I don't mind it.
Yep,
I don't mind it at all. This is funny. I completely support this. I wish other game developers would do something like it because I find it fucking hilarious that you need to be treated like a fucking high schooler to get your privileges back for this shit. But because we just can't have nice things. Carrie, did you know that apparently the nuclear weapons were turned off on New Year's Day for some reason?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people thought that was like someone said like that they got like Y2K basically. But
the 2K19 virus. Did they fix that? I hope.
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay.
Yeah. But this whole essay thing, I find it hilarious. And as someone with a master's degree in professional writing, if you have been banned from Fallout 76 and need someone to write an essay for you, I am happy to offer my services for an appropriate fee of someone with writing of my caliber. So you can find me on Twitter at @SuppIt'sCarrie, and we'll work something out for you. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what more to say about that. Today, Blizzard put out a short story about Soldier 76 and Ana, and it revealed that Soldier 76 is gay.
I'm speaking of things that I'm all for. I'm all for the slow leak years after the fact of inclusive characters.
I mean, I'm about it, but I'm especially about it with Soldier because he's the transitionary character for Overwatch. He's the character where it's like, hey, if the only other shooters that you've played are like Call of Duty style, play this. Because he's like, he's the manly man. He's got a gun and he runs, and he's got a move set that appeals to people who play military style shooters rather than...
you could argue that, both of their, what you could argue is main characters in the game.
Yeah, Tracer and Soldier 76 are both gay.
That's fucking... Like I said, I find it hilarious. I find it cool that they continue to do this. I find it hilarious that they do it with prominent characters, kind of Trojan horsing it in a way for people that might not be inclined to purchase a game.
Yep.
Where they, promoted such inclusivity.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm all for this. Keep on going.
Yep. The lead writer, Michael Chu, tweeted confirming what happened. He said, thank you for all the messages about Bastet. Jack and Vincent were in a romantic relationship many years ago. Both identify as gay. Thank you.
And like I said, if you need to see the reason why this was happening, there is comments in the article that we have linked that show you the very first comments.
Yep.
Is heading in the wrong direction.
Yep.
So
in good financial news for Nintendo fans, first party Nintendo games can now be purchased through the Humble store, which is pretty exciting.
I'll be excited if they do like Humble bundles that are discounted with stuff.
Yeah, I really hope that there's some Humble bundles, but yeah, you can purchase Switch games, like big Switch games. You can purchase Smash Brothers Ultimate, the new Pokemon games, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Party, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all of these first party games. You can get DLC through the Humble store. You can get Nintendo 3DS games. You can get basically every single virtual console Pokemon title on through the Humble store. You can get Ocarina 3D. What's also worth noting is the fact that you can get the Nintendo Switch membership.
Online membership, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. Humble does a lot of good work for charity. So yeah, I'm always about it. Nintendo has partnered with Humble before on like indie game Humble bundles with codes for Switch and 3DS.
I didn't know that. I see one of the reasons that I have never really purchased a Humble bundles because it seems like that all the ones that are appealing to me are always for PC.
I have not purchased a gaming Humble bundle. I tend to purchase the comic bundles. But yeah, if they're going to start doing Humble bundles that include first-party Nintendo titles, that would be awesome because, as we mentioned earlier, Nintendo pretty much notoriously does not discount their product. So yeah, that'll be cool. And finally, in other Nintendo news...
the trilogy of Dense Pixels episodes where we discuss Soulja Boy finally reaches its epic conclusion.
Yep. So Soulja Boy, less than a month after selling shitty emulators from China as Soulja game consoles and handhelds that played a bunch of pirated ROMs that he 100% did not have the rights to, Soulja Boy has removed the devices from his online storefront. And if you go to souljagame.com right now, it redirects you to Nintendo's website.
Here's the best part. So this happened on December 29th. On December 28th, he tweeted out, quote, this tweet is deleted, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've
Quote,
got the screenshot because that is like instant vintage.
Yeah. For anyone that thinks Nintendo is going to sue me, nothing's going to happen because everything is legit. My console isn't going anywhere. Trust me. Day later, quote,
gone.
I had to boss up. I didn't have a choice. How did he think this was going to go? What did he think the end result of this was going to be?
I'm genuinely curious about the same thing. Like, I would love to sit down with Soulja Boy and be like, walk me through this process. I need to know.
And like I said, when Nintendo started sniffing around, what was the one that he tweeted out where he was just like extremely defiant?
Oh, I mean, I think it was the one that was deleted. That was like, no one's going to sue me. Like, no.
I could have sworn he had one that was a little bit more to the point.
Let me see if I can find.
Oh, he also when someone tweeted to him making fun of him, saying that he had a new game console that was just a USB stick with trademark Nintendo and Sega games on it, but he slapped his name on it so it's straight. He tweeted back at the dude with a homophobic response. That also got deleted
the one that's definitely been deleted was, quote, Nintendo ain't gonna do shit.
Oh my goodness. What a moron.
Truly, it was Soulja Boy who got Superman in this situation.
He did. He absolutely got Superman by Nintendo. Holy God.
Yeah. So anyway,
just a reminder, if you are a mildly successful rapper with one hit single from like 7 years ago.
Oh, it's from 12 years ago.
12 years ago, buddy. Sorry. And you decide to go up against one of the largest entertainment companies on the planet, you're probably not going to win that battle, and maybe don't even try. And like I said, it took Soulja Boy approximately 1 week to quickly bow out of the console business. Look, I thought we were gonna have a legit third competitor or fourth competitor to Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, but unfortunately, the Soulja game was not apt to the task.
No.
And hopefully we will never have to talk about that fucking idiot again for the rest of this podcast.
I almost hope we do. I almost hope that he tries something again and Miyamoto fucking shows up at his house and opens up a portal directly to hell.
The only thing that I could think that he could ever come back in is if there's a Shaq Fu sequel that somehow he'll be incorporated into that mix. But God willing, he won't be. So we'll see how that goes.
Oof. Well, that's it for headlines.
That is it for headlines. So look, there's plenty of legitimate video game consoles that you can buy on Amazon. So when you do that, make sure you use our link at densepixels.com/Amazon. For any purchase you make on Amazon, big or small, you will pay the same low Amazon prices, but we get a small percentage of your sale, which helps support your favorite video game podcast. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon for anything you buy on Amazon, big or small. So it is 2019. We have left 2018, again, one of the finest years in gaming, right on the heels of 2017, which was also a pretty spectacular year of gaming. And we have our top games of the year, much as we did last year. We have our top 5 games of 2018. Just a reminder, these are our personal lists. They are not what we think the 5 best games of 2018 were. They're more our 5 favorite games of 2018. Before I get the hate mail or the hate responses on Facebook, no, God of War is not on my list because I played it for 5 hours and I really can't put it on there. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Not that God of War was bad, but it just didn't hold my attention for whatever reason. And again, sucks that Terrence or Micah is not here to put theirs up. So we will have to answer for them. We won't go through their top 5. I will just give you Terrence and Micah's game of the year, which I asked them for earlier today, and they provided them to me, which was very courteous of them, I will say. Micah's game of the year for 2018, of course, was his favorite cowboy simulator, Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that he absolutely adored and found no tediousness and minutia in whatsoever.
His Yeehaw simulator.
He just got lost in that world and just really enjoyed being a white cowboy, walking around and having to do every small thing that you could do for that person in the game. And I mean, it goes without saying that Terrence's 2018 game of the year surely has to be Sea of Thieves, one of the best nautical simulators that you could ever find out there. And just great. You can get paired up with random people. There's subtle low-key racism that you can find when paired with these groups and all sorts of fantastic things that are out there. So Sea of Thieves, Terrence texted me himself before we went on the air to tell me, hey, make sure you tell everyone Sea of Thieves is my favorite game from 2018.
I'm really looking forward to the text that you're going to get.
The text is going to be a Facebook post. What are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be in the group.
Oh, boy.
So
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be good. Good job,
so
Brad.
make sure you give Mike and Terrence your feedback on their picks for Game of the Year 2018 to be sure. But me and Carrie are going to get to our top 5. We're going to go 5-1. We're going to alternate back and forth as far as going back and forth as we work up to number 1.
Oh, I have to go in order? I didn't really pick an order. Okay.
You made an order because
I did not make an order. The blog post literally says in no particular order.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I'm going to make you order them.
That's fine.
And I will give my number 5 then, since you have to figure that shit out.
No, I know what my number 5 is.
Okay, well then you can go ahead with your number 5.
My number 5 is Fallout 76.
So I didn't know that broken games could make a top 5. Like, don't you want to wait till
there's a first time for everything,
right? Don't you want to wait till this game is complete before you put it on your Game of the Year list, maybe for 2019?
I mean, look, I've put so much time into this game. I know that the game is broken. I know that it's glitchy. I know that the game is fucked up. I know that Todd Howard fucking laid his dick on the table for everyone to see back at E3 and then revealed it to be like a weird strap-on when the game came out in November. But you know what? I've put a lot of time into this game. I've had really fun time playing with friends with this game. I love the lore. It's just, I love the setting. I love the weird cryptids of West Virginia. Look, objectively speaking, Fallout 76 is a mess. Objectively speaking, I will 100% cop to that. That game is a glitchy mess with weird servers and bugs that don't make any goddamn sense. But I like exploring a post-apocalyptic West Virginia. I like the base building. I like playing with friends. I know I'm going to get shit for it, but it's a game. It's one of the games that I put the most time into in 2018. And maybe I'm more in love with the idea of what Fallout 76 can turn into. And maybe it'll be on my games of the year again in 2019 when they make it a game that's more worth more people putting time into it. So I've already spent like 45 minutes defending this piece of trash on this podcast, and I'm done. I'm done doing it.
Look, you're going to get the shit on me later, so it's fine.
Fine.
My number 5. So there were 3 really good puzzle games that released this year. One was Picross 2 for the Nintendo Switch, or Ultra Picross, what the fuck it's called. I really like those games. I think they're really good. The other one was Tetris Effect. Or one of the other ones, Tetris Effect, which I really enjoyed. It was basically a Lumines spin on Tetris. Like it really did feel like a Lumines game that just happened to be Tetris, and it's got a lot going for it. But it doesn't have as much going for it as fucking Lumines Remastered. Because if you're gonna play Lumines like game, it might as well just be Lumines. And look, this is not a new game. This is a remastered version of Lumines 1. All they did was add, HD graphics and make it look real pretty and great. But Lumines 1 is one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. They put it on the Nintendo Switch, which is all that I ever wanted, was a Lumines game on that console. And it's fucking great. I love Lumines. I would love to see a new one. This, again, it brought back all the nostalgia. And like the first one even had stuff that later games didn't really like the versus, ladder style multiplayer they had in there, which is fun and things of that nature. Look, I love Lumines. It's fantastic. It's always going to be my favorite, like, falling block puzzler for sure. Remastered was excellent. It's exactly what I wanted. And it's my number 5 game for this year.
Cool. I have nothing to argue with. I don't really play puzzle games. I guess my number 4 would be Octopath Traveler.
My number 4 is also Octopath Traveler.
I mean, everyone who's ever listened to this podcast knows that I'm a big sucker for JRPGs, and this game was designed, basically it's a love letter to Super Nintendo JRPGs in everything about the game, in the way that the story is told, in the overall graphical look of the game. I think, it had some weak points. I thought some of the characters' storylines were way weaker than others, but for the most part, I really love this game. I really love this world. I grew to love all the characters, and God, the music in this game is so good.
The 16-bit era RPGs have pretty much all of my favorite JRPGs of all time, and it was cool to see that they took that concept but still was able to add something new to it. Some people really didn't like the battle system in this game.
Oh, the battle system was so good.
I loved it. I loved when you encountered a new enemy, you had to just fuck around with shit to figure out what the weakness of the enemy is. I liked having, like, each enemy had that armor rating that you had to kind of whittle down in order to
do real damage to it.
Right, and having the battle points was a fantastic mechanic because it made you make difficult decisions as far as, do I whack away to break a shield down, or do I save these for when the shield is down, I can unleash a hugely powerful attack.
Right.
Just really interesting, really cool. Like you said, the cohesive narrative of the game was definitely weak, but the individual narratives were pretty cool for the different characters, and they really got you to care and to be invested in all these characters, which is
in all 8 stories. I think some stories were better than others, but by the end of having finished all 8 stories, I was just like, I was really invested in all of these characters, and I want to protect them, and they're my children.
Yeah, just a really cool game. And like I said, having the job system that you could mix and match different jobs for people was a good way to kind of get all the skills in your party that you wanted to be there to do that. Really cool game.
And like any good old school RPG, it was full of bullshit extra bosses.
See, I didn't even get that far down into it, but it was just and it's unfortunate because even though this did relatively well, I don't know if we're ever going to see something quite like this again, at least not on that scale.
I'm almost fine with it sort of being just like its own unique little blip in JRPG history. I mean, some of my all-time favorite games, I think, did something different and, did well, but never really received a sequel, and we haven't seen anything like it ever again. Skies of Arcadia comes to mind. So, I mean, maybe one day we'll look back on Octopath Traveler sort of in the same light that we look back on other sort of one-off, really good classic JRPGs.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, then my number 3 is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
All right.
I'm a big sucker for nostalgia, and I was 8 years old the first time that I played Pokemon Red. So 20 years later, going back to Kanto and having there only be 151 creatures to collect, and seeing those original 8 gym leaders again and fighting Team Rocket again. But the way that I described, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is, I think when I was a kid, obviously the original Pokemon Red and Blue was, blocky little black and white pixels, but, playing Let's Go Pikachu, I feel like for me was how I always saw like what Kanto was supposed to look like in my tiny little child mind and whatnot. It hit all the right notes for me. Like it twisted things up a little bit with the Pokemon Go catching mechanic, but I thought it did that well. I know that we're getting another like core series Pokemon game that will play like the previous, pairs of games in the franchise. I know that's supposed to come out this year. And I'm sure I'll play the shit out of that. But I hope that they continue to do like the Let's Go games as sort of like a separate series on its own and do remakes of all of the older like Game Boy games in that style. Just because I think it's really charming. I just thought it was really good. It was really fun. I really like Pokemon. I cried at the end.
Do you play Pokemon Go? Like, did you get to experience that?
Yeah, no, I play Pokemon Go all the time. I don't play Pokemon Go a lot now because it's fucking cold and shitty outside. But when the weather's nice, I play Pokemon Go. So I got to sort of transfer Pokemon that I had caught like in my house to the game and like play with them like actual real like on a team, like a real Pokemon team. So I don't know. I liked it a lot. There's a line after you beat the Elite Four where like Professor Oak comes in and he's like, "You've grown up to be a real fine young woman," and I'm like, "Ah!" So I know I'm just looking at Pokemon through nostalgia goggles, but I mean, I thought it was objectively really good. So that's my number 3.
So my number 3 is my third Switch game, technically, on the list, and that is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
That's my number 2. So
okay, well, I mean, let's have the discussion then, because you're about to talk about it next anyway. So yeah, Smash, it's just fun. It's unbridled fun. It's a fighting game that you can take as seriously as you want to. If you want to play it on the surface level, you can do that and fine, mash around and play with the different characters. If you want to go deep, you can. Very cool. All-9 multiplayer has been pretty fine for me. I know a lot of people are bitching about connectivity issues. I haven't really experienced that too much, which is nice. It's the only thing that stops this from arguably being higher is because the single player is both awesome and terrible simultaneously. Like World of Light is a decent single player mode, but it's too long and way too much of a grind.
Yeah, I think World of Light is a little too long, but like I love the spirit battles.
I like the spirit board as well. That's where I've been spending most of my time when single players, because I think it's really neat what they do is they have 1,300 characters that aren't actually in this game, but they have fights against the other Smash characters that are very cleverly done to kind of simulate that experience.
I mean, I know I've already talked about the Golden Sun ones, but I think my favorite one was the fight against Ness's dad.
Yes, I've lost that fight several times.
Oh my god, it's tough. Like it's super tough. But like Ness's dad, like if you haven't played Earthbound, you never see Ness's dad. You can call him on the phone in order to talk to him in order to cure Ness's homesickness. So the like the sprite representing his dad is just the phone from the game, but the person who you're fighting against is Snake. But Snake is invisible because Ness's dad isn't actually there.
and you have to fight against Ness as well.
Yeah, and so like it's really clever. Like so many of these spirit boards are just so cleverly done. And like obviously Smash has a huge roster with more characters incoming anyway. So the fact that they're able to like mix and match these characters and what they look like and their movesets in order to create scenarios that evoke the feeling, the spirit, if you would, of these characters from these other game series. It's stupid clever. Like, and it's a lot of fun. I can spend hours just going through the spirit board.
Yeah, it is really cool. And also, like, I find the team building to be unnecessarily complicated, but also quite effective at the same time. Like, it's a weird thing where, like the game could have been better, but it still is substantive by having these additions into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
The classic mode is great. I think it's really cool how they did it, where it has the sliding difficulty as you go through. It's a great game. It's fantastic. It is. If this is the last Smash Brothers, it's a pretty solid way to go out, and one that'll be played hopefully for years. But we'll see. But yeah, it's my number 3, and Carrie's number 2.
Yep. I mean, I had a bunch of people over this weekend, and we spent a lot of the weekend just playing Smash and playing through the characters. A couple weeks ago, we did the Smashdown mode, which is super fun.
I'd love to do that with a group of 4 people.
Yeah.
I haven't got a chance to do it yet, but it seems like that would be
Smashdown
a really cool
is super
way to
fun.
do it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just good fun, and as you said, it can be as deep or as shallow of an experience as you make a bit of it, which I think is like the true mark of like a really well designed game. So,
especially a fighting game too.
Yep.
So. My number 2, and
is this the one you're gonna get shit for?
Oh, I'm gonna get shit for both of my top 2.
Okay.
Not maybe from the community definitely, but again, it's me. You know who this was. It's FIFA 19.
Yep.
Look, this is the one. FIFA. I've always played FIFA, and I've been playing them every year for the past 7 or 8 years. FIFA 13 was the one that I played the most. I sunk hundreds of hours into FIFA 13, and since then I haven't really played any FIFA at that scale. This is the one that brought me back. This is I don't know what it is. Because the gameplay is not radically different from previous FIFAs. They just iterate every year. Ultimate Team is not radically different, but for whatever reason, this one just felt right. Caught me at the right time, and I've been playing online Ultimate Team incessantly with this game. I just been having a really great time with it. It's fun. Again, this is why this is a personal list. Obviously, FIFA's not making any game journos top 10 games of the year probably, but for me, it's just a game that I connect with, and just really enjoy playing and having a lot of fun playing. So yeah, FIFA 19, my number 2.
All right,
game of 2019.
My number 2018.
Yes.
My number 1 is SpiderMan, which is not a game I think I would have said, oh, this is going to be my game of the year when I first picked it up, because I sort of picked it up on a whim. Like, I had traded in a couple games at GameStop, and I got significantly more credit than I expected to, and so I only had to pay like $2 for the game, and I was like, well, everyone's saying this game is really good. So it's not a style of game that I usually play. I'm not like an action adventure sort of game person. Like action platforming, beat 'em ups, that's not usually my thing, but like Spider-Man is so well done. I'm a fan of the character at large. Spider-Man's one of my favorite comic book characters, so I think that probably helps. But everything about the game is good. The combat feels good, the web slinging feels good, the story I thought was really good. I haven't bothered with the DLC because I heard that was largely but like the main game was just so much fun. I had such a good time playing that game. I still go back and I'm like, what if I just like webbed around Manhattan and fought up some gooners, and it feels good. I like being Spider-Man. Spider-Man was a good game.
It feels a lot like what I said last year when I named Mario Odyssey as my game of the year. Just a joy to actually play around that world and just experience the gameplay.
Yep.
So very cool. My number 1 is not going to be a surprise to anybody who is a fan of this podcast. And that, of course, is Destiny 2 Forsaken. Look, 2018, up and down year for Destiny. First 9 months were arguably pretty rocky. Had a lot of community strife. The expansions that came out weren't great. Osiris was a huge flop.
I heard that was trash. I don't even play Destiny. I don't follow Destiny, and like even I knew Osiris was trash.
Yeah, Warmind marginally better, definitely better than Osiris, but still not what people were looking for. Destiny 2 Forsaken, or the Forsaken expansion specifically, is one of the most cohesive responses to a game's community that I've ever seen in gaming. It reminds me of when Assassin's Creed 2 came out and literally fixed every issue that everybody had with Assassin's Creed 1. It had the most memorable story. in Destiny to date, with you avenging the death of Kate 6, made even more memorable by a recent development. In case you guys did not get to see the pulled pork ghost cutscene, where Aldrin is back apparently, but he's a guardian now, which could be very interesting because of Carrie. I don't know if you probably are familiar with how guardian lore works, but basically, when your ghost finds you and resurrects you, you're back. But you have no memory of your past life.
Oh.
So that's going to potentially leave some very interesting story beats for the game. The gameplay tweaks and tune-ups that they made were excellent. The Barons were really fun to hunt down. You've gotten some really cool exotic weapons. They've really just done a really solid job. Gambit is one of the fucking best additions to Destiny ever in the game series so far. It's been tremendously fun. Black Armory has been so far. I mean, it's been up and down. The weapons are pretty cool. The grind is questionable. I don't mind it too much personally. The pinnacle weapons they added, really fun too. Yeah, Forsaken was the answer to everyone's problems for Destiny in the community, and I think they did a great job. They knocked it out of the park, and I think the roadmap ahead is going to be pretty bright for Destiny 2. So, and also the best raid that I still haven't gotten a chance to finish yet, but by all accounts, one of people's favorites raids in Destiny so far was in this expansion. So it was great. I can't stop playing Destiny. It keeps me hooked and coming back week after week. And a lot of it has to do with this expansion. I wasn't as dedicated to it throughout the summer months. I haven't stopped playing it since the fall, when the expansion released, with no real end in sight as far as that goes. So that is why it is my number one game of 2018.
Right. I mean, for me, I feel like I have to note the fact that, like, I didn't play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I didn't play God of War. I didn't play Red Dead Redemption. I didn't play Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, these are games that I have a lot of respect for. Absolutely. And I think those sort of games absolutely deserve all of the acclaim that they've been getting. But they're not games for me. I'm never going to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not going to play Yeehaw Simulator. Like,
I really should finish God of War at some point and then come back and
God of War. I know, like, I got God of War for my husband for Christmas, so he's playing it. So I'll probably just watch him play it instead of playing it myself.
That's fair.
Yep.
We take a visit to the Dense Pixels post office. No partial government shutdown affecting the operation of the DPPO. We asked you what your 2018 game of the year was, and thank you guys for getting these responses because I asked super late in the process today. Malcolm says God of War. Amir says God of War is the only right answer, followed up by Spider-Man and Hollow Knight. I did want to play Hollow Knight. I didn't get a chance to. Stuart says God of War. Mark says Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which probably would have been Micah's pick for game of the year. Maybe God of War would have been a toss-up between those two. Justin says Omen Sight.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. And he didn't write his customary essay, so we'll have to wait to hear back from Justin.
He says, I'll go into detail when I draft up a detailed explanation of my top games. And before anyone gets their panties in a bunch, God of War comes in second place.
Look, God of War wasn't even on my top 5, which I'm going to catch copious amounts of shit for, and I'm fine with it. Cam says he would like to say Spider-Man, but the DLC pissed him off so much that he's picking God of War. Rashawn says Spider-Man is my choice, and he's looking forward to seeing Yuri as one of the villains. Johnny says God of War, and he notes Dragon Ball FighterZ as 1A. Let's see. Jake says Black Ops 4. He says he really enjoys the Battle Royale mode, and they listen to the community for the game. I thought about Black Ops 4 in making my top 5. It probably would have been like 7 for me.
Okay.
Just because I didn't play it as much as I thought I was going to, but it's a solid Call of Duty game, which take that for what you will. Anthony says Spider-Man. Chris says God of War edges out Spider-Man slightly. He also mentions Dragon Ball FighterZ and Mega Man 11.
All right.
Let's see. Assassin's Creed Odyssey makes the list as well. Mark says he has to go God of War as well. He said Red Dead was close, but the world was too big for its own good. And Johnny, I wrapped up with him because he came back. What was your worst game of the year?
I said Fallout 76 was one of my best games, so clearly it's not my worst game of the year.
No. Well, he was just throwing suggestions out there. See that again. The problem is
the worst thing that you played this year.
Yeah, that's the issue is that I don't typically play games that
are trash.
I know I'm not going to like.
Right.
I can tell you what my most disappointing game was, and that was Mario Tennis Aces, for sure.
You know what? I would absolutely agree with you. Mario Tennis Aces was, I think, the biggest disappointment of the year. Because like it had the potential to be really, really good. But it's like you play a few rounds and then you're just sort of done with it. And
yeah, there just wasn't enough to hook you in.
No.
And I even thought that I would go with the like playing online, the tournament stuff like that. Yeah. And that lasted like a month. And I was kind of out of it. So yeah, I would say that's probably my biggest disappointment of 2018 for sure.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that is it, guys.
I have one more question for you.
Oh, yes.
Since we've got time, it's just us, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing you're looking forward to the most in 2019?
Oh,
what do you hope will be announced in 2019?
Oh, what do I hope will be announced in 2019? That's easy. Borderlands 3. I seriously
really
hope that, yes. I hope not only does it get announced, but I hope it comes out this fall.
Okay.
And I think that's entirely possible given how long the game has been rumored to be in development.
Okay.
How about you?
You know what my answer is going to be.
I don't know. It could be. Is it the Pokemon game?
Oh no! I mean, I think the thing that I hope gets announced this year is either a fourth Golden Sun game,
God, Jesus Christ,
or a port of the first two, like a remake of the first two on Switch.
Oh my Lord! I'm talking about things that are in the realm of possibility.
The thing that like I know is coming is the thing that Obsidian is working on.
Okay.
Outer, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, the game that I'm looking most forward to for 2019 is definitely Anthem. Is the one that I have the highest hopes for sure.
Outer Worlds. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Fallout New Vegas in space.
Is that your like? Do you think that game's coming out this year?
They said it's coming out this year. I mean, it's Obsidian, so maybe it won't. But I'm going on the assumption that it's coming out this year. That is the game I am most looking forward to.
I mean, it's hard, obviously, because the whole back half of the year hasn't been announced yet. But I'm going with stuff that's been announced firmly so far for 2019.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Outside shout for Prime 4 as well, if that game actually does.
I think that will come out this year. I think that's going to be Nintendo's big like the more mature option during the holiday season this year, because Pokemon's going to come out in the fall.
I hope so. I see if any game slips, I think that's the one that has Pokemon has the highest chance of slipping into 2020 personally.
We'll see how it goes.
I was gonna do 2019 look forward next episode. We still might, because I still might think.
Well, I mean, you can get Micah and Terrence on one of those boys.
Mm-hmm.
Or me. Maybe I'll come back and talk more about all the Nintendo shit that's never gonna happen in my lifetime, and I'm gonna die on a cliffhanger that Nintendo started for me 8 years ago.
What if they release like a digital comic shorts that just wrap the story? Would that satisfy
anything? Oh my god! Like, I just want to know what happens. I don't care.
I feel like you could get a comic book. I feel like if you lobby hard enough, you could at least get a comic book just to wrap the story up.
I would love that. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing: they remodeled Isaac for Smash Brothers for his new assist trophy. So maybe something good will happen.
I mean, Nintendo does have, and I don't mean this to sound as dickish as it's going to come out. Nintendo has often revamped and revitalized obscure franchises from their past. So I could totally see for some reason, I'm more optimistic that's because of Smash Brothers that something will happen for you eventually now. Like before, I thought I was just sad looking at you every year, wish for something that you knew would never happen. But now I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, they did take the time to render this guy for this game.
Maybe something good will happen.
We shall see. I really hope Anthem's good. They just released a whole bunch of.
I hope for BioWare's sake that Anthem is good.
Yeah, I really don't need BioWare closing its doors. But yeah, that's it for our 2018 Games of the Year. That is it for this episode as well. So don't forget to join our group. If you're listening to this and you're like, I didn't see Dense Pixels post office this week, that's because I just posted it in the group this week. So if you're not in there, you should get in there. It's densepixels.com/fans. Always some great conversation happening there every day, including about wrestling as well. So that seems to be happening more frequently for some reason. But Carrie's a new wrestle fan, so
I like a good wrestle once in a while.
I think I want you to watch WrestleMania this year, and I think I want you on a WrestleMania recap show. I think that'll be really fucking fun.
I will absolutely come and watch WrestleMania with you guys.
Yes, you could just come over here because it's I'm gonna be watching it for sure.
Cool.
Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We will read it on the air if you do. Facebook and Twitter, follow us on social media. Just search for Dense Pixels. You can find us there. Subscribe to the show. Go to youtube.com/densepixels. Subscribe there as well. I'm doing most of my posting of gameplay on the YouTube channel. I need to post something because it's been a couple weeks. But we also have Twitch accounts as well. I'm Dense Pixels Brad. Carrie is stuff. It's Carrie. You're probably most active on there.
I am easily the most active person from Dense Pixels on Twitch. I made affiliate, so you can actually subscribe to me now. One of my resolutions for the new year is to stream once a week or so. So I'm hopefully going to have an emote soon, and I have subscriber badges now, so you can subscribe to my Twitch. Definitely follow me on Twitch if you aren't already, though, so you can get notified when I go live. It'll probably be evenings once a week, and we'll be playing some Golden Sun, because what else am I going to play on Twitch?
I should try to make that resolution too. Mine's gonna be late nights though, so that's usually how that goes. Terrence is Apparition 410. He's also on there semi frequently. And Micah has a Twitch account. It's called Dense Black Nerd.
He sure has a Twitch account, doesn't he?
He does.
That is a thing that he has.
Look, I wouldn't expect to see him on there for a couple weeks. He's got a new baby.
He's got a fresh one. You know, that's a brand new run right out the oven. That's a fresh little whatever they are. You can tell I'm never going to be a parent.
The love you have for children is just radiating from you.
I don't hate kids. I just...
You hate your own kids, which don't exist.
Yeah, I mean, I just... I like kids. I don't care for babies.
That's totally fair. That's a totally fair stance to have. But yeah, so again, if you're looking for Mike on Twitch, just remember for the next couple weeks or months, he's probably not going to be active on there.
Yeah.
Because of the new baby. So that's it. That's it, guys. That's this episode. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Bye.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.